evening, everybody, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partner in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. It's been a minute again since I've done excellent.
Yeah,
I'm
said
good.
hello
I'm
like
doing
that.
wonderful. Sorry. Dodging
Uh,
tornadoes and power outages, but I'm good.
well, it is Tornado Tuesday, so what can we say? Well, I'm glad that you are dodging them successfully so far, and
Thank
not
you.
have
Thank you.
you are in a basement, so that's a good thing.
I am.
And so, guys, I don't even want to wait on this. I am so ready. When these three very kind people agreed to come on, I was so excited. I think I messaged you immediately and said, "Oh my gosh, they agreed to come on because this is something that interests both you and I, and that is the practice of voodoo." Now, I know very little about it, but I am fascinated by it. And Blake, I know you know a little bit about it, and you too are equally as fascinated.
Enough
And
to
I
get me in trouble. We're just gonna just enough.
Right. And with what you think you know about voodoo may not be what it actually is about. We see it on television, the way it's depicted. It's always depicted as something that's not good or evil. I think
Mhm.
our three guests tonight are going to give you another priority, another perspective as to how this religion actually works. And so let's all learn, let's get educated, and let's learn a little bit of something about voodoo. So I'm going to introduce to you who our three guests are tonight. They are all three voodoo practitioners. And Mambo Brandi is the owner and is a New Orleans. Suddenly I'm tongue tied. I apologize. Mambo Brandi is a New Orleans native, initiated voodoo priestess, and is the owner of the Voodoo Authentica of New Orleans Cultural Center and Collection and voodooshop.com. And she's also the founder and producer of Voodoo Fest, which is a free annual festival dedicated to preserving, I'm tongue tied. What happened to me?
Words are hard.
Preserving and honoring the city's rich cultural and spiritual traditions. Now, on Halloween, October 31st of 2027, Voodoo Fest will celebrate its 29-year anniversary. So
Wow.
it's been going on a while. Our next guest is Houngan Jesse, who is a Cajun voodoo priest, and he was born in Homa and initiated in Haiti. He's a member of the Voodoo Authentica of New Orleans spiritual team and an annual speaker at Voodoo Fest, where he teaches visitors about the history of the Cajun people and the contributions they made to the local history and culture. And then we have Mambo Maggie. She is a generational Haitian voodoo priestess and member of the Voodoo Authentica of New Orleans spiritual team. And she carries on the legacy of love passed down by her mother and the internationally revered voodoo priestess, Mama Loa. So please, would you welcome our special guests, Brandy, Jesse, and Maggie? Welcome. It is so nice to meet you guys.
Good to meet y'all.
Great to meet y'all too. And by the way, I think you said Mama Loa. I could be wrong. Maybe I heard it wrong, but it's Mama Lola.
Mama Lola, thank you very much for
Yes.
the correction. I
You are
suddenly got
so
tongue
well.
tied. I got very nervous because I'm so excited to talk to you guys. It's not many people who make me nervous when they come on, but I am so, you can see my hand is shaking. That's not normal for me. I'm just so excited to learn something from you guys. I have the greatest respect.
Girl, relax. Because we're happy
Right?
to be here with you, and we're happy to spend some time with both of y'all. And we're gonna have a good time. So just relax. We're all gonna have a good night.
I do
Awesome.
this when I get excited. Usually Blake's here to hit me or something.
Usually,
So
yeah.
let's get into it. Give me what is voodoo? Give me the nutshell version of it.
Jesse.
In a nutshell, uh, voodoo is a religion, a practice, a way of life. It's a something very ancient. It's something that was brought to the New World, if you will, with the transatlantic slave trade, and it's been uh, able to be preserved all of those years, still, even through persecution and all of that, still being practiced alive and well. And it's a way of communing with your ancestors, communing with God, with the spirits, helping your community, helping your family, uh, becoming a better person, and making other people better as well.
And it's not one thing. You have, depending on where you are in the world, you have African Vodun, Haitian Vodou, New Orleans Voodoo, and so many different offshoots, depending on where you are. So voodoo is not one thing. And when you say, what is voodoo? What we can do is tell you what is voodoo to us.
Okay.
So for some people, it's a religion. For others, they'll call it a spiritual path. Other people will call it a way of life. So I'm not intentionally being vague. I just want to make it clear that we speak for ourselves, because it is very much about community, but it's also a very personal experience. So, we can't speak for everyone in the world who practices voodoo and what is it to them? What does it mean to them? So you'll learn tonight what voodoo is to us.
Love
I
that.
love that.
And Maggie, what is voodoo to you?
Voodoo is a way of life to me. It's a community. It's everything that people could think of. That's what voodoo is all about.
I love that, because I relate to that on the spiritual side of it, because to me, what I do and what I practice, it is just it's a way of life.
Yes.
That's what it is. And I love, I'm so excited about tonight too. About
It's
learning
not
about
one
it.
day a week. It's not,
Right.
for us,
Yeah.
it's not like one day a week we're doing this or that. This is
A
how
24.
we live. It's
Yes.
if I go to sleep, I'm a voodoo priestess. While I'm sleeping, it's not a hat I'm putting on.
Right.
It is our life. We're walking with spirit all the time.
24 hours.
Yes. So
Yep.
I think
yes.
you feel what I'm saying.
Yes,
what I'm getting at.
totally picking up what I mean, there's sometimes with what I do, the spirituality that I have and everything, sometimes waking up in the middle of the night, you're so right. When you go to sleep, when you wake up, all that stuff. I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and I'm like, look, not right now. I'm trying to sleep. Leave me alone. I'll get to you in the morning. You got to let my body rest.
Yeah, it's not an outfit you can take off.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
right. With us, we don't sleep, we don't eat. We are busy 24 hours
That's
a day.
Always working.
If the days have 25 hours, we're busy 25 hours.
Yeah.
Always busy.
Okay, so you say if you're busy, if you are going 24 hours, that it's 24 hours. What does a daily what is the daily routine of someone who is a practicing voodoo priestess? What does your day entail in order to satisfy your religion of voodoo or your practice of voodoo?
Pick a day, and it's gonna every day. I wish there was at one moment some predictability or clutter guide, but every day spirit brings different people to your life. You may have a plan for the day. We may have a plan.
Yeah.
We are going to do A, B, C, D, and we're going to do these things. We have this very structured plan. Then spirit says, well, actually,
We're gonna do this instead.
this person's going to call you and they're going to let you know that their toaster is possessed. Get it and go to sleep dreaming up that one. They've got worms in their stomach. Their toaster's possessed. The worms have turned into snakes in their stomach. So you don't know what you're going to be navigating day to day. And some people, they need psychiatric help. We let them know that. We say, this is a medical problem. This is a psychiatric problem. But there are the people who it's a voodoo problem. It's a spiritual issue. And the way we find that out a lot of times is sometimes it's just instinct and spirit talking to you. Sometimes we read it. We read the situation, and that's how we figure out, okay, they've done the medical route. They've gone to all the doctors. They've gone to the psychiatrist. This is not medical. It's not psychiatric. This is something this is a spiritual issue that it's a spiritual problem and needs a spiritual solution. But you were mentioning a day in the life kind of thing. No matter what else comes our way that's a bit unpredictable day to day, there are certain things that we do every day. There's not a time I walk in or out my door, I'm not ringing the bell to my altar, giving gratitude, thanks. Almost every minute of the day, thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for what I have. there's an altars all over the house, but at my front door and wherever you are, if you're at Voodoo Authentica, if you're in my home, if you're at Maggie's, if you're at the temple on the bayou, you walk in, you see an altar, you immediately are thanking, grateful. So gratitude is the guaranteed part of every day, the theme of every day, no matter what else comes our way. I'll leave it to y'all to talk about, but
Okay, with voodoo, it does not matter. Color doesn't matter. Creed, as they say, does not matter. Money does not matter. Whoever come, we have to serve them. Yes. Whoever we have to serve. Yep. Smelling good, no smell good. Come on over. Does not matter. Come on over. We're here. That's what we do.
We're here to help everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah. So
and we get everyone from
The
From
judge to the homeless guy.
the movie star, the judge, the not smelling so good. Everybody comes through the doors. You know, everybody needs the voodoo man or woman at some point.
And we cannot turn them away.
Yeah.
Regardless. We can't.
is there
That's why we don't
okay, so I'll ask this because again, like Shelley said in the beginning, I know enough to get me in trouble. I'll put it that way. Let's just say I know what mainstream media has put out about voodoo. I've never actually had the opportunity to be able to sit down and speak with practitioners. So, is there repercussions or some type of ramifications if you were to turn someone away? I know you're not. You can't, that's the way I feel in my work that I do as well. But is there some type of ramification? Is there repercussions?
I can answer this. I'm not so concerned with what you just asked. It's more the feeling that, we've all made bad decisions in life, running around where there's a lot going on. So I'm not gonna give this guy on the side of the street $1. I don't have time. I need to make sure I get this green light. These types of things. But what you really have to pay attention to is the feeling that comes after, because that's God, that's the spirit saying, that wasn't very nice. You should have done better. So I think those experiences are what's really important, learning from those and listening, because that's the spirits communicating with you. If you go into a po' boy shop to get something to eat, maybe you buy two because you saw some people on the street outside and you can tell they're hungry. So you bring out one to them. So, just as long as you live that way, everything's okay. But as soon as you stop or you get too rushed or, you got to always stop, calm down, listen, take a break, and just do things right.
And I kind of piggyback on that by saying that you don't really have the option to refuse. Not that we would, but even if we wanted to, if it is spirit driven, if spirit has said to you and you're supposed to be doing this, spirit has put this person in front of you or an issue in front of you, even if it's something in your own life you're supposed to pay attention to, they tap you on the shoulder gently, whisper in your ear. Now, if you don't listen to that tap or the gentle whisper, you're going to end up with the frying pan hitting you over the head.
Got it.
Or the machete.
Okay.
So it's like it does not serve you not to listen, because you either got the whisper or the frying pan or the machete. So you're gonna do what they want.
I love how Maggie kind of always goes to the violent, the machete.
Wow. Hey, Maggie said machete.
Are you the machete, Maggie? I love that. Okay, so you talk about spirit. And this is always something I like to ask of people who are very deeply spiritual. Is there a spiritual hierarchical structure to voodoo? Is there somebody at the top, like in the Christian religion? It's God. God's the top dog, right? And then he's got all the angels and everything. Is there a spiritual hierarchy to
Yes,
voodoo?
we have one. That is on top. That's the one we call Papa Loco. He's the father of all the spirit. And we also have Papa Legba. Papa Legba, if he does not open the door for you, that's it. You have, when we're starting a party for the spirit, we have to call Papa Legba. Definitely have to call Papa Legba because we want your door open.
A party is a ceremony, just
Ceremony,
to make
yeah.
that clear.
Yeah.
But who's on top of everybody, Maggie?
Papa Loco,
On top of Papa Loco.
Jesus,
On top of Jesus.
God.
So
Yeah.
it does have a, for lack of a better word, a Christian element in the voodoo religion, correct?
Well, there is,
Mhm.
and
Explain why the Catholicism
Yeah,
is in there.
there's two reasons actually. And one reason is when the Africans were taken from West Africa, they weren't allowed to continue to practice their traditional beliefs. They were forced to become Catholic.
Mhm.
So, but they would see, for example, a picture of Saint Peter, who's in the Catholic Church, guards the gates to heaven
And holds the key.
and holds the key. So they said, well, I can light a candle. I'm praying to Papa Legba.
Who also holds the key.
That's the gatekeeper in voodoo, and no one knew the difference. So it kind of got interwoven. Also, in the 1600s, the Portuguese started exploring the region that's now the Congo, and they brought Catholicism with them, obviously, and a lot of people there liked it, and so you had a big group of people that just voluntarily converted to Catholicism, and then later on, during the transatlantic slave trade, those Africans who were already Catholic became slaves and came to the New World as Catholics. So it became interwoven in two different ways. So one was to disguise the traditional spirits. The other way was they were already Catholic. So it got mixed in like that. And today, most voodoo practitioners also are practicing Catholics.
And also to discard everything on a good level when you're starting whatever you're starting, when it comes to the spirit, when it comes to your ancestors, the first thing we do is
Make the sign of the cross.
always, and we pray to the saint before we pray to the Lord.
So it's important to acknowledge the saint, and then you are free to perform your rituals as needed, as necessary. The television and movie industry has very much bastardized the voodoo religion, and it's, you see the stories and they talk about how, they're under the influence of voodoo. Voodoo is not necessarily used for negative, correct? Voodoo is more the positive aspect, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that was kind
You
of.
hear about the tools, they're popularized in movies, and you hear about the dolls and this and that, and you're gonna jab the doll and break someone's leg. The truth is that, like, voodoo is, as I said, to some people a religion, a spiritual path, but the tools themselves, the magic and the tools, it's like a fork, a tool. I could use a fork to eat my dinner, or I could use a fork to stab somebody in the eye. There I am again with the violence.
There's some violence again. Some violence.
These are tools, and a tool isn't good. A tool isn't bad. A tool is a tool. So how do I use that tool? The way we choose to use the tools available to us, whether it's our spiritual insights, the herbs, the oils, the doll, we choose to use them to help people. We choose to use them to enhance people's spiritual growth, physical, spiritual, emotional, psychological, the whole person. We like to help people connect with their spirit, like the idea of giving someone a fishing pole rather than a fish. We don't want to create a bunch of dependent people. We want to show you, how do you connect with spirit? Help you to form your own connections. But in terms of good, evil, it's been painted by the media in certain ways because it makes for an exciting movie or book or whatever. And I have to give them credit, though. The movie industry, even the books, for the last 15 or more years, they've been coming more, talking with us as they write their books, as they write their scripts. Even the older films, I won't mention them in particular, but some of the very famous older movies that include voodoo and books that include voodoo, they come to us. And in terms of the movies, remember when DVDs started coming out and we got to experience special features for the first time? Well, a lot of these older movies, when they came out on DVD, they came to us and they did the special features. And they would have, voodoo may not have been portrayed in their movie as we would have liked, but they came to us. We didn't ask them. They came to us. They wanted to do it right. And so they said, we want to show people that we took some license with this theme and this topic, but in the special features, you can learn the truth about voodoo. And so more and more, you're seeing people trying to understand what voodoo is really about. And again, even the people who already did stuff years ago, trying to get it right after the fact. So I think that's really heartening.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know if I answered your question, but hey, I said some stuff.
No,
That's right. Violence.
I think I circled the point. The fork in the eye.
It makes sense with what you were trying to say. That was actually one of my questions, was what the biggest misconceptions people have on voodoo is. And that's what a lot of people know it to be, is this spirituality or religion or practice, whatever they see it on media, TV, books, shows, whatever, to be nothing but curses and nothing but evil and nothing but and I'm like, that's so not what it is, guys. So yes, you did answer the question, in my opinion.
Well, and you mentioned tools, and the tool is only the tool, and it's the intent behind the user. What are some of the tools that you personally, if you're okay with sharing with us, what are some of the tools that you use in order to, and I'm going to hope I'm going to ask this right, are they spells? Are they rituals? What exactly is the practice? Do you consider them
Some of them are right in
spells?
front of you. We use candles. We use different spiritual colognes like Florida water. We use candles a lot.
What's
let
the
me tell
purpose?
you hold on. Let me tell you why I had to get up. I'm just going to be honest with what's going on right now. I don't know exactly where y'all are, but down here, we don't even like to say their name.
Every May.
We call them the T words. They swarm. So I'm trying to cut some lights because the T words are swarming right now. This guy said y'all, so you got to have some Southern background. You got to know what I'm talking about.
I'm from East Texas.
R-M-I-T-E. You don't have them in your house. They're just in the area, in the oak trees and stuff.
Gotcha.
So if you have your lights on,
They're everywhere.
they're going to come in. So y'all talk about the tools. I might have to dim us to like a rosy glow.
That's okay.
Okay.
So, apologize for that.
No,
That's
you're
okay.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. And yes,
So-
you did catch it, y'all. I'm from East Texas.
And I'm from
originally.
DFW in
Yeah,
Texas.
well,
So yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, every May it's you basically live in the dark for a month just to avoid the termites.
Right.
Got it.
So as for tools, the most common one that people know about is the doll. So
Mhm.
and people see on TV you're poking a pin in a doll, and you know, the person that it's made for falls over, and they're dying with a heart attack. The way it really works is similar to acupuncture. Can you see us?
Not at all.
Not really, but
No, we'll need a little more light.
Let's see. Okay, well, just keep talking. I'll see what I can do.
Brandy's gonna figure it out.
So it's like a spiritual acupuncture. So if someone has a heart problem, rather that be when it comes to love or actual a medical issue with the heart, they may come to us and we'll do certain prayers. Use a doll. We might put some of their hair in the doll, some of their spit, a piece of their clothes. We'll make that doll close to them. And then if we put the pin while we're making the prayers into the heart, it's a way of focusing that energy, that healing energy, into the heart. So it's something that's used for healing.
And there's also a big belief, you hear about karma in many different traditions, or something akin to karma. Basically, what you dole out, you're going to get back. And all of us sitting here know the reality of that. Mm-hmm. So when you're ready to dish it out, make sure you can take
That's right.
what's coming back to you.
That's right.
And it's not like, we're not Pollyanna. If somebody's doing, they're wreaking havoc and doing something negative, what we do, we're not going to initiate negativity from us. We are, though, going to hold up a mirror, and you will get a return to sender.
Yeah.
So we don't have to initiate negative work and hexes and all these things, because we have our protections up and mirrors hidden everywhere in places you will never see. Some you will see, some you will not. Right. But it's always, if someone's trying to come at us or people we love, people we care about, all that's going to happen is it's getting returned to sender. And not, look, I don't know if you can see me, but when I'm pointing that gun at you, here I go again with the violence.
The violence! My goodness!
If I'm pointing this at you, how many? Go ahead and make a gun with your hands. You'll see what I'm talking about. How many fingers are pointing back in your direction?
Yeah, 3.
So they don't just get back what they sent out. It comes back with a multiplier. Mm-hmm. So we know this. We're very careful with what we send out. Some people are not so careful.
It's amazing to me. It's almost like every answer that y'all give, I can correlate to the practice that I do. I don't really, I always call it subscribe. That's what I say. I don't subscribe to, I guess, a labeled spirituality or a labeled religion. I just kind of have picked and choose my own belief system that I've culminated over the years. But everything that y'all are talking about is something I do on the daily that I'm like, oh, okay, wow, the tools, got it. I have candles all around. I have my altar. I give thanks. I'm like, this is kind of cool.
I do this and say, whoo, let's hope it all works out.
There you go. That's fantastic. It's amazing the more you talk and share, and that's what's so wonderful about what y'all do, because the more all of us get together like this, we realize we have a lot more in common than we more in common than what we differ on. And yes. I wish that the world, not just spiritual folks, but everyone could realize we have humanity in common. And yes. We want love, we want good, we want respect, we want good things for our families. Yeah. We have so much in common as human beings, and I wish we could pay more attention to that. And that's what you made me think of by mentioning the things yes. you see in common, because we hear that all the time. Oh, wow, I do that. And these are people from totally different traditions, but they're sharing a lot of the key ideas. Reverence to ancestors, honoring those who came before. We we're all doing that in one way or the other. Without our ancestors, we wouldn't be here. None of us. I don't care what religion, tradition, spiritual path you come from. You had a mama, and you came from somebody, and without them, you would not be here. So revering those folks and honoring them, respecting them, that's another reason we respect our elders who are still with us. They deserve our respect. You know, without them, without those who came before on the other side and this side, we would not be here. So they deserve our respect always.
So I kind of actually want to touch on that a little bit, because a lot of what I've expanded on in the work that I do has to do a lot with ancestral work. So what is, I guess, the role that the ancestors played, those that came before that are no longer with us, what role do they play on the other side for y'all's practice?
Well, let Maggie take this for a little. We can all chip in.
Yeah.
Yes, it take a role of helping people, talking to people. You talk, they talk to you, you listen, and then you follow their rules. What they used to do, you follow. Like you follow, you from top, and then you're gonna follow. Like you going down or you're going up step by step. You don't just say, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But they will talk to you. You will listen.
That's so the way it's interesting, because I've gotten to know spirit guides throughout the years, and one of mine is a great grandmother, and when she talks, I listen, because she is the one that will send the frying pan if I don't.
But you know what happens? Sometimes you sit down and then you say, what am I gonna do today? What should I do for the spirit today? And then you hear something in your ears. You don't know where that comes from. Say, this is what I'm gonna do. If you don't have your altar clean, you're gonna get up, you're gonna clean up your altar, you're gonna put clean water in your altar, you're gonna light up a candle and talk. Said, okay, I have food. If you cook food for you, you know your grandmother used to love that. This is what your grandmother used to love the best. You take a plate of food out for her.
I love that.
And put it on the table as I'm eating, and then I'm talking, and you will hear a lot. Most people doesn't listen. Most people are just talk. No, listen. You got to listen what they tell you to do.
That's been a hard one for me to learn over the last, I would say, 5 years. Whenever at first this all started, I didn't know how to listen and sometimes refused to listen. And that's when the frying pan started happening. And I was like, okay, I am listening. And I would sit down and I would talk and I would say something and just kind of sense or hear or whatever just kind of came to mind. And the more that I did it, the easier it became.
But something, I'm sorry to interrupt, something for your audience that are interested in getting closer to their ancestors and are having the same trouble that you had. I give this advice to a lot of people. Just put aside a small spot in your home. Just a small table above the fireplace, whatever. Put a white cloth, a white candle, a glass of water, maybe a picture of your grandmother, grandfather, whoever. If you don't have pictures, that's fine too. You can make coffee for them. If you make some food, when you serve the food, serve a bowl, put it on the altar for them. But when you go to bed at night, make sure there's fresh water on the altar. Go to the altar, let them know that you appreciate them. You appreciate the fact that you're alive today because of them. Ask him, please guide me. Guide me every day. Let me have a great night's sleep tonight. Let me have sweet dreams. Go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, throw away the water and put some fresh water and say, thank you for my life. Thank you for giving me life. Thank you for waking me up. And it's very important to say, be with me every step I take. Guide me every step I take. And you'll start, after you start doing this for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, you start to see how things happen where you can't even explain it. This you weren't even, you would have never taken, you'd have never turned right, but because you turned right, this happened, and then this happened, and 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 it's all guided. Every single step of your life can be guided. So that's a perfect way to start that kind of life.
By people who really love you and who truly have your best interest at heart, and who, because of their current placement in the universe, they now have a larger view, a wider perspective than you might be able to have where you are in your life. You mentioned not being able to listen, and I think it's hard. It's harder now than I believe maybe ever before. I mean, good Lord, there's TikTok, Facebook, and like 15-year-olds like, what's Facebook?
It makes my back hurt.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Facebook, that's for old people. But there's so much going on that you don't see people too often without their face in a phone. And I'm not just talking about teenagers. I'm talking about people in their 80s, 90s, 70s, 30, you name it. People have their face in a phone, or face in an iPad, and it was already tricky to actually hear messages and see the unseen and hear what isn't audible to most. But then you throw all this other stuff, all these other distractions, and so I think it's very difficult, but you have to prioritize truly unplugging if you want to have those connections that are much more important and powerful than TikTok and all, like, how do I make a miniature bread out of icing or whatever foolishness. I mean, it's amazing what can come on your screen, and you're like, I've got to see this. This guy made a mud hut with two toothpicks and a brick. And you're like, I got to see what's going on here. No, you really don't. It's just how things can suck you in.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens to all of us. It's like you were a normal human being, and then an hour later, somehow you lost time.
Yeah.
You don't even know what happened. And then next thing you know, it's 5 a.m. and you've watched an entire season of a really bad show.
Yeah.
You're like, where am I? How did I get here? What's happened? So all of that to say that I get it. It's hard. It's really hard. But you don't have to sit there and go, and get all zen. You just have to make the smallest efforts, as Jesse was saying, as Maggie was saying. People say, how do I start? How would I begin if I'm interested in voodoo or whatever? We always tell people, start with your own people. Don't try to do an altar to, Papa Legba, or Zuli Freda, Alegua, this, that, the other, the African Orisha, the Haitian Loa. And we honor both in New Orleans, the Haitian Loa, the African Orisha, and some of our own New Orleans spirits like Marie Laveau. But people think, oh, I got to make an altar for everyone right away. No, you don't. Start at home, as they say. You make an altar for your people, for your bloodline. That's how you start. And then it's like a spiritual telephone, that altar. You create a connection. You start understanding how that type of communication works. And you build from there, one little piece at a time. You don't try to do everything at once. So I can't emphasize that enough. I think we would all agree, you start with your own people.
Absolutely.
Yep.
On this side and the other. Get right with your blood.
So in the course of being practitioners, and you did say that you can't turn anyone away, what is the most common complaint? when they come to you and they say,
Love,
I need help, love.
She's screaming
I'm
love.
sorry, I'm hitting the buzzer.
Okay.
Are we all thinking it?
Yeah.
Love,
Yeah.
love,
So,
love,
so in the
love,
course of
love.
love, how do they come asking for you to banish somebody in their life or bring someone? What is that's the most common complaint is something to do with love? And
Go
can
ahead,
you
Maggie.
expand?
It has to be, my husband left me, and I don't know what to do. I miss him so much. This is my first love. So how do I bring him back?
Mm.
Good.
Girl, you don't want him back. Go ahead.
No, this is the only man you know. You don't know no other.
Okay.
That's the one. This is what people call the love of my life.
And don't think it's just the women. The men
Yeah.
are coming, same thing.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But when I get a woman, sometimes they'll be like, my man, he beats me, he calls me names, he makes me feel terrible about myself. I love him so much.
But I love him,
I
honey.
want him
I
back.
love him.
And at that point, I don't endorse work. We're all different. Like I said, we're all individuals. But personally, I will talk to that woman or man,
Yes.
and I will say, let's talk about how we get you to love you first. Let's find out why you're trying to get back a man who beats you, calls you names, makes you feel horrible about yourself. What is it in you that's making you want that back in your life? You should be throwing a party right now
That's right.
that guy's plaguing another woman and not you.
That's right.
But all I can think about, I want him back. So first you got to just calm people down, help them to cool their head, do work with them, do a spiritual cleansing, cleanse some of that that stuff that stuff they're hanging on to, clean that. Do some work with them, get them real clean, because you can't paint a beautiful picture on a canvas with
Dirty.
funky paint and bad feelings and all that stuff. We need a clean canvas. So we will do a spiritual cleansing, and then we get something clean to work with where we could put some nice energy on that canvas and attract something worthy into your life. But if you don't feel worthy yourself, if you don't love who you are, if you think that piece of what is all you deserve, then that's all you're going to get. And we got to find out, why do you think that? Why do you feel that that's all you deserve? Is this piece of what man or woman who's sleeping with 3 other people, has beat you repeatedly? Why don't you think you're worth more? So we got to peel back some layers sometimes. So it's not just lighting some candles and singing some songs. You have to really do some counseling.
So
Yes.
ultimately, a voodoo priest does a lot more counseling
Yes.
than anything else.
That's right.
That was something I was. Sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead.
because-
Go ahead, Maggie.
Yeah, because sometimes you think this is the only love you have. This is the only man I have. I never have no other man. He's the only one for me. Guess what? You do something for him, he beat you more. He slap you more. He does worse thing to you. Then, if you listen to us, you get a good cleansing. You get a good love bath, and fix up a good perfume for you, and tell you to go. When you go outside, guarantee you will find somebody that you will love much better than the first man.
And that will actually love
You for who you are. It doesn't matter. Yes.
I think
I
that's
need
so
some
true.
of that perfume. What? Go ahead.
She wants some of that.
I think that's.
we fix it. We fix it in special ways. We put certain ingredients, and we know what to do, because, as Maggie was mentioning, some things you just know because you know, but other things, spirit, your ancestors, they're talking with you and they're saying, this person needs a little something extra. They need a little bit more than the normal ingredients. She's sitting there, she's like, I would need a little bit extra.
I'm gonna need the double dose, please. And,
She needs the
I'm gonna need the
trifecta.
super size of it, please. I need a whole
But yeah,
flock.
sometimes it's a matter of helping people to understand that this is actually the worst possible thing for you. What you're currently asking for is a road to ruin, and we encourage you to work with us to help to change your mind so that you're going for things that are actually serving your
You.
greatest good.
Right.
God, the plan that God has for you, that Spirit has for you, trying to make that more important to the person than when they have those blinders on, they can't see past that woman, that man. That's all they can think about, all they can see. How do I get him back? They don't think, should I? They're just thinking, I want it. Not, is this the right thing?
Yeah.
And so you got to get those blinders off of them so they can see their world again through a lens that doesn't include this toxic individual or individuals.
Yeah.
So do you think in that case that they have you ever come in and had someone sit in front of you and they're all in the I want this love back? And can you tell if they have any kind of negative energy? How much of a part does negative personal energy play in the practice of voodoo?
Huge.
Yeah.
Well, not in terms of us being able to detect and feel it, and how much people are the main people are getting in their own way more than anything else is getting in their way. People are typically their own worst enemy, and they will say, they've been hexed. That their great aunt, Hoochie or whatever is hexing them, and Papa whatever is hexing them, and we do a reading and we're like, oh, we found out who's hexing you. You're hexing you by your own negative thinking, by your expectations. And when you listen, sometimes you want to record them and play it back to them and let them hear what they're saying. They'll say things like, I know today is going to be awful. I know I'm not going to get that job. I know that man isn't going to be interested in me. I know that woman isn't going to want to talk to me. I know she doesn't know I exist. You hear them and you say, stop. Listen to yourself.
Yep.
You are putting out all of this negative information. You're broadcasting a signal that's saying, here are all the terrible things that you're expecting for yourself. And getting out of bed that way, like getting out of bed saying, they maybe just bumped their knee or something. Like, oh, there's my luck. That's the kind of day it's going to be. Instead of just being like, I bumped my knee. Moving on. Time to go brush my teeth.
That's it.
Today's going to be a great day. No, that's a big sign that the whole day's going to be crap. And guess what? Because of that, their whole day is crap.
Yep.
That's right.
They just drew it to themselves like a magnet. So how big of a deal is negative energy in terms of how it impacts people? Gigantic.
Yeah. Your words, just daily conversations, self-talk, as I call it. Your self-talk is so important in everything that you do, in your daily life, in your spirituality, in your religion, in whatever it is that you're undertaking. And if you have that negative self-talk, you're not going to have a good outcome.
That's right.
No.
And I'm seeing
How many
again.
people have come to you, and they started calling you 20 years ago or 10 years ago, and they're having the same conversation with you that you had 10 years ago.
That's right.
Like people who really truly want to change and want to improve their life, they will listen to what you're saying.
Yep.
They will follow the instructions. They will do the baths. They will do the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other people who part of their whole identity is being a victim, is constantly complaining, that is part of their identity they don't want to let go. Those are the ones who are telling the same story as today as 10 years from now.
Yep.
Because we've seen it happen, and they're not doing the work. they're not doing a stitch of it. All they want to do is they want to be identified by, well, here's my excuse for failing. I have a phenomenal excuse for failing rather than I'm a success, because that would have taken some work. Where they'd rather just talk for you an hour or two about how miserable they still are because the world is out to get them. And be like, did you do the bath? Did you do the work? Well, no, but that's because why? What's the point? Life is horrible. They won't do a stitch of work to change their circumstances because they're addicted to being the person that the world is against. Y'all feel me? I know you know at least one person.
Oh, yes. So let me real quick, let me ask you a question. You had said something about people believing they've been hexed. So I do believe that people can send you the negative energy. I believe that's entirely possible. I believe that someone else's negative energy can affect you to a certain extent. If I came to you and said, I feel as if I've been hexed, how would you be able to determine if I actually am, if you can remove it, and how would I prevent it?
Yeah, ask the spirit.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, none of us are saying that people don't do bad magic, that they don't do hexes. We're saying the majority of the time people are doing it to themselves.
But what if someone had legitimately hexed me and you guys
there
figured
are
it out?
legitimate cases, and that's the ones that we feel it, we read it, we read the situation, and we are able to determine, is this something that took place? Did someone put something on you? Sometimes the answer is yes, and we have to do the work to take it off.
Sometimes the people walk in to come and read a card, and then you look at the person. You don't want to read the card because you're already seeing what the person is all about. You're seeing, yes, and then you said, well, nope. And sometimes you have to help them. If your ancestors said this one, help this one here, you have to.
As far as hexes go, I'll tell you a quick story about a client of mine. He didn't know he was going to become a client of mine. So it was his sister, his two sisters. They got in touch with me. They said, my brother's 35 years old. Up until a year ago, he's had a completely normal life, married, has children, always worked, and all of a sudden he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia. And the sisters knew their brother, and they knew that something wasn't right. So I read it, and I could see that something wasn't right. I said, can you get him to the temple? They said, well, I don't think so. So they lied to him. They said, we're going to go on a trip or something. So they put him in the car and they drive, however long from wherever they were. And they show up in the middle of the woods on the bayou at this temple. And he refused for 3 hours to come into the temple. Finally, I went outside and spoke to him, and I convinced him to just come inside and sit down. So he came inside, he sat down, and still he wouldn't let me do anything. After a while, he said, fine. He let me do a little bit. Hours and hours of trying to get this work finished, and finally, we're able to finish everything. When we closed the work that day, he didn't know how he had gotten to the temple. He didn't know what state he was in. He was happy. He was back to whoever he actually was. So these things are real. There are people out there that are intentionally hurting people.
Definitely.
And that's one of our jobs as voodoo priests, is to kind of investigate and see what is it, how did it happen, and what can we do to get rid of it? But he's living a normal life again now, with no problems. And that's another thing we do in voodoo is when we do a work for a situation like that. When I say a work, I mean a spiritual practice. You know, we're working with the spirit to heal someone. We never just do it. We also do a little extra in the backside of it to give them continuing protection that they're going to carry with them.
For a long time.
So,
Yep.
but so these things are real, and they, you know, so they do happen.
So, in reading, you say that you can read the energy. Now, forgive my ignorance on this. What are some of the rituals that you use to read the energy? Like I've seen people who say that they throw chicken bones or read tea leaves or pull tarot cards or just lay hands on or run an egg over them. Are those legitimate types of
Well, you mentioned reading energy. I mean, energy is something when you're tuned in, we can all feel it on each other. There's no
Right.
there's no special. Now, when he's talking about removing something, you know, there's a variety of ceremonies that Jesse or Maggie or myself we may employ depending on what spirit is dictating what we're feeling would be appropriate for each case. But just feeling energy, I mean, you do that when you walk in a room.
That's right.
right?
I don't have to throw down a tea leaf or
Nope.
crack an egg over someone's head to feel
Right.
energy. But when you're talking about further exploration, let's say I feel something's problematic with the energy, or Jesse or Maggie feels something with the energy, and it's not super clear what is causing that, then they may read the cards.
Okay.
You know, so people have different divination tools they will use to do readings, but as far as like how you feel energy, that's just you feel it.
Right, right.
the-
We all understand the
Yeah.
the feeling,
Yeah.
the energy.
It's the easiest show like correlation for you and I as paranormal investigators.
Right,
you know,
paranormal
it's just-
investigating.
is feeling energy when we walk into a haunted location and the different tools that we use to investigate with to get responses and answers and stuff like that. It just depends.
Right,
On
that's what
I'm
I'm
sure
also.
you walk in the door and you know something's there
Yeah.
immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Then
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
say, "Oh, I'm going to use these different tools at my disposal to target what specifically we're dealing with here." What,
Yeah, I would
yeah.
say I would add on to that it's very personal to each priest. So
Okay.
some priests will throw shells, some priests will read playing cards, some priests will read tarot cards, a glass of water, whatever. So to every single person it's personal, but they will use any type of reading that their spirit guides them to do.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get clarification on, because in shows and everything like that, you see them like reading the bones or the tea leaves or something like that. I was trying to figure out if that's actually tools that are employed
Yeah.
and employed on a regular basis. Okay.
Yeah, but more to get specific.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it's just like, energy is energy. You feel
Right.
it, you know it, but to understand the specifics of the situation and what you're dealing with, yeah, it's to each their own.
Okay.
Someone wants to read the bones, stones, cowrie
Eggs.
shells, eggs, whatever. It's like what's gonna work for them. The proof is in the pudding. It either works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So the thing what to use is what works for you is
Right.
what to use.
Gotcha.
It's like finding
People
the
use gold.
dice. Finding the dice
Yeah.
for me. I read dice.
Okay, there you go.
I use
So-
dice too in readings.
Okay.
I read the dice.
Yeah, I read dice, and it's one of those crazy things that I just randomly picked up at a location and just started doing it, and then made my own set. And I was like, it's helped so much when people come to me and they're like, I want a reading. can you help me out with this? Yeah, sure. And I can just get direct communication, becoming more of a conduit, if you will, for them to channel the energy through to manipulate dice and receive direct words and messages. Yeah, it's kind of fascinating. When I first picked it up, it was kind of scary, but that's kind of, we're like, what is this? I've never seen this before.
That's what's so cool. Spirit comes to us and might give us 3 pennies, to use to read. And those 3 pennies, whether they're heads up, tails, that's how you read. It's different for everyone. But what I can say we all have in common is we can all do this. We all have the ability, if we cut out the noise, we truly all can connect with spirit and read and do true, real readings with 3 pennies.
Yeah.
With some dice. Like, the only reason you knew about the dice is because you listened, you tuned in. You didn't disregard what spirit was trying to tell you. So many people, they're like, oh, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. You got to say, oh, spirit is telling me something, and not constantly say, don't write it off. Listen.
Yeah.
They gave you those tools with the dice, and look, you're using them. Instead of writing it off as nothing, now you've got this powerful tool in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
kudos to you, sir.
Thank you. I have to ask though, because we've got a couple of comments in the
oh yes, please.
a couple of questions, or not questions, comments in the comments. Let me say that. We have a few that are wanting to know about the white clothing, white attire. What's the symbolism
of your dress?
Yes, of your clothing.
Purity.
Okay.
We have to be pure. You have, like most people, when they're having a party for the spirit, we can't have sex the night before. You got to be pure. We can't, a lot of things we cannot do the night before. So be pure. So the best way to do it is to wear all white from head to toes. And then with other spirit, you could still wear the white, but you wear a green for certain spirit. You wear a red, a tie, or a head tie, different color, green, all different color.
Okay. I love that. I mean, I figured it had to do something with purity.
Purity.
That
and also the ancestors, I mean, when it comes down to it, the bone is white. So a lot of times we will say, we're wearing white to honor the ancestors, because underneath all this skin, we all have in common our bones.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so
we don't call it bone, we call it
so.
zo.
So that's another thing that brings us together. We can all go to a ceremony. We're all wearing white. We're all the same bones,
Yeah.
Zo kap matching.
Well, we want to give you all a little bit of time to tell them where they can come for your shop, where they can come visit y'all, see y'all.
Where can they find you?
Where can they find you? All that stuff. So I'm going to kind of turn it over to y'all and let y'all tell the audience a little bit.
Well, when we're not hanging out with y'all, we're sometimes at the temple on the bayou, but where everyone watching can come, open to the public, is Voodoo Authentica of New Orleans Cultural Center and Collection. We're at 612 Rue du Maine in the Quarter in New Orleans. And we're open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. And another great time to come see us is October 31st. It doesn't matter if it falls on a Monday, a Saturday.
Yep.
It's always on October 31st, Voodoo Fest. It's free. All of us sitting here and more. We cook. I'm talking not like, you go to an event and it's free and you get like a free hot dog. Oh, no. You come here, you're getting homemade jambalaya, Uncle Eugene's gumbo,
Yep.
Mambo Maggie's chicken, my butter bean with pickled pork and sausage, Jesse's Cajun. So, I mean, between the New Orleans girl, the Cajun, the Haitian, you're eating good. We've got African family members, between all of us. You're going to have African meat pies. You're gonna have New Orleans cooking, Haitian cooking,
Yeah.
African cooking, Cajun.
Blake, can we go to Voodoo Fest?
You better believe it,
Of course
baby.
you're invited.
Of course.
It is outside of Voodoo Authentica, like
Yes.
in the street. We block off the 600 block
the
in Jamaica, and it's the food, and all day from 1 p.m. to 7 presentations. You can come and hear about healing. You hear about Marie Laveau. After you hear all these wonderful presentations and music, all free, you're eating your good food, and then at 7 o'clock, we're doing our ancestral healing ceremony. Drummers just come out of the woodworks. People just show up. We drum and sing to spirit. The veil's very thin that night, so we call out to spirit. They answer back, and it's very powerful because some people, they lost a loved one years ago. Some people, it's just been that year, and you calling out. There's a point where we're all yelling out, mama, papa, people calling out to those that they've lost, and then they realize they haven't lost them at all. That they're right there, and so it's special because we can call out at any time to our people on the other side, but when you hear them and feel them answering back, it's not like anything else. And when we're all together doing it, we're all helping each other to reach out to the other side. And that feeling, I'm tingling right now.
That's powerful.
It's amazing.
It's
to hear,
very
yes.
powerful.
Yeah.
Because we all have people that are so precious to us, and knowing that they can hear us and we can hear them, you know how powerful that is.
Yes.
You know they're there, but when they're not that human connection, they're not the human being anymore next to you, you miss them so much. So in that moment, knowing that they're with you, it's powerful. It's powerful for everyone there, and we're all sharing it together.
Yeah.
So it means a lot.
Yes, I do definitely think that is an experience we need to have. Like, put it on the calendar.
Hey, listen, I will say New Orleans has my heart. I went there a few years ago. I haven't been back yet, but I almost walked into a real estate office to buy a house while I was on vacation there.
Yes,
that is how
it is
much
a
New
magical
Orleans
place.
has my heart, and I can't wait to get back. I just haven't been able to have the opportunity to get back. I loved it so much. So, but now that we have some good friends there,
That's right.
That's right.
I can come down and be like, hey.
Whether you like it or not, you're probably
Yeah,
Exactly. You're stuck with us.
Maybe I can stop in and get cleansed and maybe get all this bad juju off of me. Maybe my life will go right. I'm playing.
We got you.
I got a pretty good life, and I'm
It's gonna-
aware of it.
It's going to take all three, just FYI.
Yeah, it's going to take all of y'all. I got a lot of issues. Just be
Lot
prepared.
lot of frying pans and
Be prepared to bring the violence with me. Sometimes it's the only way I get it. Well, and with that, Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know about us?
All right, if y'all will bear with us for just a few seconds while we wrap this
Of
up,
course.
and we will get us on our night. Y'all, if you want to support our show directly, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/EVP podcast. For just $5 a month, you're going to unlock over 500 Patreon exclusive videos, including the pre and post broadcasts, which are the 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after this live broadcast. So you do get an additional hour with us each week. And make sure you stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and many more by searching Everything Vaguely Paranormal and looking for that green sound wave. Remember, we are live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube, and our audio gets uploaded the next Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Also, make sure you subscribe to our Eventbrite for public investigations. We are grateful for your continued support. Every like, comment, share, and download keeps the adventures alive. So if you have a favorite episode, share it with your friends. And if you have a story, comment, or question, or you'd like to be guest on the show or have us as guests on your show, email us at the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Go like, share, and subscribe to that YouTube channel. Say hello, give us a thumbs up. Let us know you were here. So we want to thank our very special guest, Mambo Brandi, Mambo Maggie, and Houngan Jesse. I hope I said that right. And make sure that you check them out at voodooshop.com, Voodoo Authentica of New Orleans, Cultural Center and Collections. And for myself, I'm Shelley Pruitt. My partner in the paranormal. I'm used to Chad being here now. My partner in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, Sally. Bye, Blake.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Not a
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.